Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling, well, a really big question. What does Janet Yellen, with all her economic background, truly think about cryptocurrency value?
Yeah, her view is pretty unique, right? Coming from the Fed and now Treasury, it gives her this comprehensive lens.
Exactly. And, the whole debate is that the future, or just speculation gone wild.
With regulators still playing catch up, trying to figure it all out, different countries, different rules, it's messy.
Totally. So our mission today is to really unpack Yellen's perspective, the good, the bad, the innovation, the risks, and see what key insights we can pull out for you.
Yeah!
Okay, ready to dive in?
Let's do it. What's interesting right off the bat is that she does acknowledge the innovation. She sees the potential in blockchain technology.
Right, she's not just dismissing the tech, she sees it could, change things.
Fundamentally change how transactions work, potentially. Yeah. But then, almost in the same breath, she pivots to the need for, well, careful thought, regulation.
And for her, that regulation isn't about stopping progress, is it? It's more about managing the potential fallout, the risks.
Precisely. And she makes this really important distinction between different types of digital assets. It's not all one thing to her.
Okay, like how?
Well, she talks about cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, maybe evolving into something like a store of value, a bit like digital gold, perhaps.
Okay, store of value, and then there are others.
Right. Then you've got stable coins, totally different aim, designed to keep a stable value, pegged to something like the dollar, making them potentially more useful for actual, payments.
That makes sense. Different tools for different jobs.
But even with stable coins, she kind of questions how likely it is that crypto becomes a truly widespread way to pay for things anytime soon.
What are the hurdles there, in her view?
Well, lack of standardization is a big one. And still, that fuzzy regulatory picture we mentioned, it creates uncertainty.
Okay, so let's get to the core of her value argument. This is key, right?
Absolutely. She makes a really compelling case that right now, at least, a lot of the value you see in crypto seems driven by speculation.
Meaning people buying it hoping the price goes up rather than because they're using it for everyday stuff.
Exactly. It's not necessarily tied to widespread, practical, real-world utility at this moment. That's her point.
And that speculative nature, that connects to her other concerns.
It does, because when you combine heavy speculation with, let's be honest, sometimes limited transparency and patchy regulation,
you get risks. Market manipulation.
Yeah.
Is that what she's hinting at?
That's definitely a concern she flags. Without clear oversight, investors face, significant potential downsides. Things can be manipulated.
So for Yellen, the future value, the long-term value, really hangs on something else.
It hangs on demonstrating real utility. Can these technologies actually deliver secure, efficient, maybe cheaper transactions? And can they do it at scale?
That's the million-dollar question, or maybe the billion-dollar Bitcoin question.
Right. And if they can't deliver on that promise of real-world usefulness,
then the speculative bubble might, not be sustainable. The value could decline.
That seems to be the implication, yes. The speculation needs something solid underneath it eventually.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the listener. If you're looking at this space, what's the main takeaway from Yellen's analysis?
I think it underscores the need for caution. Really understand that speculation plays a huge role right now. And keep a close eye on regulatory developments.
Clarity and transparency. Those seem like watchwords from her perspective. Know the risks you're taking.
Definitely. It's about assessing whether the potential rewards outweigh those considerable risks, especially while the utility case is still being built.
Her view really pushes us to think beyond the hype and look at the fundamentals, doesn't it?
It does. Until we see more concrete, everyday uses and get that solid regulatory foundation, speculation is likely going to be a major driver.
Right. So the key takeaway here, Yellen sees current crypto value as heavily speculative. For it to have lasting value, it needs to prove its utility and operate within clear regulatory lines.
That sums it up well.
Okay, so here's something to mull over until next time. Considering everything Yellen's pointed out, what specific real-world applications or perhaps regulatory breakthroughs do you think will be the most crucial turning points for cryptocurrency's future value and acceptance? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.